And I think LifeVantage has an opportunity to really prove that its product Protandim, it could be the #1 antioxidant supplement in the marketplace. How did you come up with this idea, Dr. McCord?
The idea for this came through 40 years of scientific research. It began with the realization that free radicals are produced in cells, that they do damage. And it wasn't until really recently that we, with the use of modern molecular biological tools, came up with a way of signaling our cells to make more of these protective antioxidant enzymes that can eliminate free radicals.
And this product is all natural.
It's all natural ingredients. The ingredients are very interesting. They've been studied and used for centuries in Ayurvedic medicine in India and in traditional Chinese medicine.
So it's a patented formula, and we don't want to give out the patented research information. But let's talk a little bit about, these are naturally occurring substances that have been found. You've just come up with a really unique way to formulate them to stimulate the body's immune system.
That's correct. And these 5 ingredients, the real secret to Protandim is the way these 5 ingredients work with each other through a process known as synergy. So together the 5 are about 18 times as effective as the sum of their parts. And that's the real secret to Protandim.
Dr. Perlmutter, you've done research for years and years on oxidative stress. What brought you to Protandim?
Well, years ago I studied the work of a Dr. Harmon, and he was the pioneer of this whole idea of the free radical theory of aging. And what Dr. Harmon talked about was that these chemicals called free radicals, which are part of the process of normal metabolism, have their downside, and their downside is that they damage our DNA, they damage our fat, they damage our protein. So over the years I've been looking at my patients and asking myself, what can we do to improve that situation? In other words, to put out the fire, to turn off this process. And over the years I've looked at supplements, and more recently was made aware of Protandim. And I really have to say that what sold me was the science, and I really needed the hard science, because I have to stand up against the jury of my peers and defend my position in terms of the choices that I make for my patients day to day in my office. And the science is profound, it is sound, and interestingly enough, I mean, this is cutting-edge science that validates what was written in the Vedic text some 3,000 years ago, that things like turmeric and other of the components of this product of Protandim are powerfully effective. And I'm really happy to have this as a powerful tool to use in my clinical practice in dealing with patients every day.
You know, as a patient advocate, I stumbled upon Protandim almost 3 years ago. And I went on a search around the world to kind of figure out, okay, I know that there's Western medication, but is there anything I can do to complement my Western medication? Well, you know, as I did some research myself, just basic research. Start to find out that, you know, it's oxidative stress. So what do I have to do to reduce it? So I started running around taking, I'm telling you, it was a period of time, I'm trying to eat as many blueberries as I can get. I'm trying to find anything in the marketplace. I won't say the names of some other products, but a couple of those products I was drinking 2 or 3 glasses of, thinking that it was helping me. Someone introduced me to Protandim. I just looked at the research and figured out, hey, wait a minute, I have to take 360 oranges in one day to get the same effect of 1 pill? Sold. You know, and that's what started me down this process. Now I'm thinking that I've added to my quiver, you know, a really, really, really vital weapon that will help me solve the antioxidant category. Now let's move over to the next one. And that's what really started me. So that's from a basic standpoint. And then when I find out that it's backed by clinical trials, it's backed by studies, it's backed by thousands of years of science, why wouldn't you use a product like this? Let's talk a little bit about that hard science, the research that you've been able to do, and to determine that if we can lessen the oxidative stress on the body, it has profound impacts across the board, does it not?
Absolutely. You know, we're crippled in Western cultures, and you know, we wait until a person manifests a disease, and then we create these wonder drugs to treat the problem. You know, John Kennedy said something during his inauguration, I think that's very fitting, and that is, the time to fix the roof is when the sun is shining. And I really believe that. We've got to start emphasizing preventive medicine, keeping ourselves healthy. That solves our healthcare mystery. The issues of healthcare keep people healthy. They don't need to have this illness care. They don't need to have expenditures of these dollars. to take care of these problems that are preventable. And putting out the fire, quenching free radicals, utilizing the best antioxidants that we can get our hands on is, to me, the key to health and longevity.
And when you say utilizing the best that we can get our hands on, there are other products in the marketplace that claim to, you drink something out of a little bottle that says it'll give you 1,500 antioxidants. Well, but if you really understood the science behind antioxidants, it really doesn't do you any good. Because you take 1,500 antioxidants, that's only 1,500 free radicals that are removed. So you need something that will stimulate your own body's ability to create its own natural antioxidants, and that's the difference in Protandim.
You're right, and it's part of the program, though, as you've talked about, we've talked about together many times, dealing with things like lifestyle choices, the foods that we eat, the exercise that we get, the sleep that we get, the stress reduction techniques that we employ in our lives. But Protandim works in a totally unique way compared to your typical antioxidants, your vitamin C, your vitamin E, as you talked about. It speaks to our DNA. It turns on our DNA to allow those keys to open the locks and open the floodgates for your actual physiology to create a program, an antioxidant milieu, environment that really is the key to allow your health to flourish.
When we hear, Dr. McCord, people say things like, anti-aging, some people go, oh, come on, what's going to stop the aging process? But honestly, it's the oxidative stress on the cells that, and I know I'm doing this in a really, 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 I don't know, base way, but that's what causes the lines and the wrinkles. That's what causes the appearance of aging, and this product can actually slow that down, and we've proven it, correct?
Well, aging to a scientist probably means something a little different than it does to the layperson. We cannot stop the clock. The clock goes no matter what. But there are many components of aging, and one of them is the cumulative damage that results from oxidative stress, from simply burning our food. Free radicals are byproducts. Free radicals do damage, and that damage accumulates. So anything you can do to reduce that cumulative damage may in fact manifest itself as appearance of reduced rate of aging.
Well, Dr. Perlmutter, one of the things I know that you said, and I agree, I started taking the product before several of the new clinical trials began, but what impressed me so much about this product is the fact that, LifeVantage and Protandim's not afraid to be put to the test. There are 18 clinical trials going on right now, I believe, around the world on this product?
That's correct. And these are well-respected institutions, and again, when you're in my position dealing with patients day to day, and you're telling them, providing them information, it's got to be rock solid, it's got to be sound, and I feel really good about that I can say this is a product that's stood the test, the peer-reviewed test. And to get back to this concept of life extension, we always talk about what can you do to extend your lifespan, but I think it's interesting to conceive this idea of what can you do to increase your health span, whereas you may not increase the number of years you have, but your ability to participate in life during those years, I think, is something we should focus on. And the way that we appreciate our health span is by remaining obviously healthy. We do that by maintaining the health of our bodies, of our minds, and that is predicated on reducing free radicals.